We have a trifecta of terrible things happening in the UK today. And, well, we'll start with the big one because Boris Johnson, I don't know what the fuck is going wrong with that guy. You have a supermajority. Your fucking country voted vehemently for you in places where they haven't voted conservative in fucking generations. And what the fuck are you doing? It's impossible to comprehend why he's locking down the country. The fucking WHO, which we will get to after we get through this, because you UK viewers out there, I know there's a couple of you, and you should know that this is fucking backwards. It is ridiculous, and I, for one, am very, very upset at it, because I think it's draconian and proven to only just prolong the effect of the stupid coof, but not do anything really to stop it. Like, okay, you leave open like states, like Georgia was one of the first to open after the mandatory 15 days to slow the spread, right? And as soon as they opened back up, they were like, hey, yeah, fuck, we'll just do this stupid social distancing shit and everything will be fine. And you take a look at their numbers and they're doing great in comparison to places that even required masking up or continued to do soft lockdowns and then reboots and start up again. Like you take a look in California and Chicago, it's not fucking working. And then let's just start with the UK here. Prime Minister Boris Johnson has announced a second national lockdown for England to prevent a medical and moral disaster from the NHS. Well, you're getting one of them for sure, and it's very much the latter. He said Christmas may be very different. Christmas. 15 days to slow the spread, people. And we're talking about fucking Christmas. Unbelievable. Non-essential shops and hospitality will have to close for 4 weeks from Thursday, he said. But unlike the restrictions in spring, school, colleges, and universities can stay open. Oh, good, so they can go in and stay 6 feet across from each other and tell them how great this is, and eventually will just lead to a socialist utopia where the big government can tell us exactly what to do at all times, and these fucking lockdowns will never fucking end unless something stops. But after April, see how long we've been in this shit? After the 2nd of December, the restrictions would be eased and regions would go back to a tiered system, he said. Yeah, I'll fucking believe it when I see it. Okay. Here, I remember we locked down, somewhere about mid-March, end of March, and we didn't start reopening until about the end of May. Yep. And we were told 15 days. They're saying a month right now, right? 4 weeks. I will guarantee this will continue through New Year's. They'll just put it, through the end of the year. That's fine. That's what they're doing with this. They're hedging their bets. They're saying, the last month of the year. It'll get colder. People will be forced to stay inside where transmission is apparently worse. Who fucking knows what the science is day to day? It just keeps changing. Are masks great? I don't know. Are you going to walk around in a hazmat suit? Yeah, you probably won't contract it. Should you keep wearing that stanky fucking mask that you have to wear every fucking wear? Yeah, no, it'll be fine. Just keep wearing it. It's just mind-boggling, but at this point, I'll just get back to the news. Don't mind my editorializing. Mr. Johnson said Christmas is going to be different this year, perhaps very different, but it's my sincere hope and belief that by taking action, or tough action now, oh yeah, you sissy fucker, now we can allow families across the country to be together. How are you allowing families to be together in the country, huh? Telling them not to show up against one another? We'll get to what Gavin Newsom had to say, just to compare and contrast. Like, here we are, okay, Dumbass came out a couple days ago on the 29th, and these are the guidelines that he set out. The guidelines state that no more than 3 households can gather together at a time. So if you have a regular family, 2.3 kids in every household, if you guys want to come together, don't invite anybody else, and make sure that if in fact those grown families, if you have a sister, you have a brother, you guys go back to family's place for, that's fine. But God forbid, do you have to leave the dog outside? Is he going to have the fucking turkey bones outside? Gatherings must be held outside and should last less than 2 hours. Okay, how about Northern California, where it starts to get not terribly warm overnight? Okay? Not everybody lives in LA like you fucking elitist bitch. Attendees may go inside. Oh, yeah, he's telling you where you can move inside your own house, by the way. To use the restroom, as long as the restrooms are frequently sanitized. Yep, so this is ridiculous. Also, singing, chanting, and shouting are strongly discouraged. Has anybody ever been around a table at a family holiday like Thanksgiving, Easter, Christmas, and there hasn't been shouting of any kind. Even if it's civil, it's normally from one end of the table to another. If kids are acting up, if the conversation just gets loud, if you start to break out at the same time, yeah, this is totalitarian nonsense. And if you give into it like you have to, oh, I'm just following orders. Yeah, isn't what they were saying during the Nuremberg trials? I was just following orders. Yeah, use your common sense. I don't think anybody's really following these guidelines in California, but it is fucking stupid, and he's taking a beating for it publicly. It's not like anybody else is really, adhering to this, except for those stupid old ladies that you see on Twitter. Yeah, you post on there, those are going to be the responses that you get. Either you're a bot or you're just an anti-science denier, and they don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. So, you know what? If you got one of those old ladies who just want you to follow the rules, I'll just wear a mask. If you want to wear a mask, that's fine. I don't care, but don't tell me what I have to and don't have to do. The Prime Minister told a Downing Street news conference that he was truly, truly sorry. Then don't do it, huh? You did it once, and if you're sorry, you don't repeat the same mistake twice. For the impact on businesses, but said the furlough system paying 80% of it. Oh, good. Because people who have small businesses already have a small profit margin. So if you take 20% off the top of that, those 1 in 6 businesses that... I know that those are the numbers in the United States. I'm not too sure what it's like in England, the UK. I'm sure it's something comparable. You take those 1 in 6 businesses who are going to close thanks to this lockdown, and you take away 20% of their estimated profits, and especially ramping up to Christmas and the holiday season, that is when most businesses go into the black, hence the term Black Friday. That's where it comes from. You go into black when you start to turn a profit in your business, and most of these small businesses operate in the red throughout the entire year. Fuck, I used to work at Best Buy. I know, weird. And for most of the year, they operated in the red. They operated at a loss, and they made the rest of their profit heading into the holiday season. That is no shock to anybody who's ever balanced the books of a business before or just had common fucking sense. When most of the year, most of the days during the week, you are working at one of these places and you see, 5 or 6 people in a huge box store every day? Yeah, you have to put 2 and 2 together when they... Customer service representation outnumbers the customer base by about 5 to 1. Oh yeah, and that stupid wage subsidy is supposed to extend through November, but if they're going to continue this lockdown, which recent history would suggest that they absolutely would, yeah, it's only supposed to extend through November. So what, is everybody just supposed to be on the government tit for an indeterminate amount of time? You look at Australia, they think that they're going to be closed down to 2022. Maybe that was just the first country to come out with the absolute plan out there for everybody to look at, and it's like, oh fuck, okay, maybe they're just out on an island. They should be the ones, just using common sense here, I don't have any fucking numbers to back this up, but shouldn't they be the model to look at? Just a country that you couldn't really compare to anybody else. It is merely an island, and a couple extra islands as well, and they should be able to, through travel bans and just fucking waiting it out at this point, not contract any more cases. They should be fine. But they were the first country to come out and say that, oh yeah, we're going to probably have no travel outside of New Zealand is supposed to be opening up soon. I don't know how far along that project is, but outside of New Zealand, don't expect any travel to Europe or North America anytime soon. And yeah, even if there is a vaccine that comes along, yeah, all of this social distancing and fucking mask wearing is going to be in place until 2022, and that is definitely going to be the norm, as much as everybody else is sick of it at this point, because there are so many goddamn protests going on right now. And you think in 3, 4, 5 months time this is going to get any better? You think that these communistic intentions of heads of state aren't going to piss off the population? But people on this side of the fence aren't taken seriously, I should say. Because we don't run around breaking shit, smashing businesses up, setting things on fire, because, we just want to get back to work, okay? We just want to run around and go about our daily lives instead of having mental cases tell us where we can and can't go inside of our own house. No responsible prime minister could ignore figures that suggest deaths would reach several thousand a day, with a peak of mortality worse than the country saw in April, Mr. Johnson said. This is like that same line that you've heard Biden repeat in every time that he's out. Oh, another 200,000 people could die before the end of the year. Yeah, really? Really? Where are you coming up with these numbers? And why would you think, contrary to popular evidence, contrary to the science, in fact, mortality rates are significantly lower than they were at the beginning because we know how to treat it. There's a lot more therapeutics ready. And guess what? Once this vaccination passes through actual trials, we'll be on our way to success here, people. He said hospitals, even in the southwest of England, where cases are among the lowest, will run out of capacity in weeks. This is literally the exact same script that he was reading from, that every prime minister or president was reading from back in March or April. Listen, if you want to gaslight about the 2016 election, I will be clearing that up for everybody very, very shortly. But you can't expect anybody to buy that same line of shit months in the rearview mirror, okay? But that's enough on this. Sorry to my UK friends out there. This is absolutely ridiculous because you take a look at what the World Health Organization, the ones that fact check everybody on YouTube or just put that little fucking stupid blue box at the bottom and then throttle your views on your different videos. Listen, they are undecided on herd immunity because it says here, attempts to reach herd immunity through exposing people to the virus are scientifically problematic and unethical. Letting COVID-19 spread through populations of any age or health status will lead to unnecessary infections, suffering, and death. If you're unfamiliar with the term herd immunity, that is reaching a certain percentage where the virus is no longer viably spread through those people, or they have built up an immunity to it. Now, it's debatable what that percentage is. Is it about 50? Is it about 60? Once the population reaches that level of infection, and especially if you take a look at the survivability rates and, famous anecdotal evidence out there, which I know anecdotal evidence is a bit suspect to begin with, but you take a look at Trump. Now listen, he wants to make Regeneron available for everybody out there. He wants to make the controversial and experimental treatments, therapeutics that he received very, very available to everybody. And that dude is in the highest risk category. And by highest risk, I mean has a 94.5 or 6% chance of surviving. Not exactly a death knell. And then everybody else underneath of it is 99 point insert high number here. So yeah, if 60% of the population, let's just say they are working age individuals with a virtually 100% survivability rate, we get that up to 60% of the population. This thing disappears because herd immunity is the only way and the inevitable way that this is going to go. You can't outweight this disease because it's lying in wait out there. And here's the kicker. Here's what really just boggles my mind on everybody wanting to do these lockdowns again, especially over in Europe where they had a tenuous relationship with it, where there's a lot of riots breaking out because of it, especially in Europe and Spain right now. Large-scale physical distancing measures and movement restrictions, often referred to as lockdowns, can slow COVID-19 transmission by limiting contacts between people. See, they actually worded that right for being a Chinese mouthpiece. This is a piece of information that you can absolutely use some common sense to fact check. It says it can slow the spread. It doesn't say it'll stop the spread. It doesn't say that it'll eradicate the disease. Merely, it's just going to push it off. However, these measures can have profound negative impact on individuals, communities, and societies by bringing social and economic life to a near stop. Yes. Such measures disproportionately affect disadvantaged women and blacks most affected, including people in poverty, migrants, internally displaced people, and refugees. Or just old people? How about old people? Those are the ones who are dying at the quickest clip, who most often live in overcrowded and under-resourced settings, shithole countries, right? And dependent on daily labor for subsistence, i.e. non-essential businesses that get closed down. And then you get 80% of less than or just at minimum wage. So yeah, you've probably heard this colloquially? There we go. I don't know why I can't say that word. That, the WHO is against lockdowns. Well, there's your proof. Now, if you think, oh no, you're just against science if you don't believe lockdowns are good, then yeah, feel free to point them right to the official World Health Organization page. Now, I said that we got a trifecta of terrible shit happening in Europe right now. And back over to France now. In the French city of Lyon, a Orthodox priest was wounded in a shooting. And this might make me just as angry based on the reporting. This is the BBC again. And, alright, here we go. An Orthodox priest has been seriously wounded in a shooting in the French city of Lyon. Officials say a suspect matching witnesses' descriptions was later taken into custody. Officials could not immediately confirm whether he was the assailant. Oh, I bet he probably was. He was probably the guy with the ticking vest. The motive remains unclear. Does it? Does it really? Oh, okay. Thanks, BBC. Authorities have opened an investigation of attempted murder. Wow. Really takes a lot to put two and two together. You shoot into a fucking church and you think that it's attempted murder. Right. The incident came days after, the knife of peace. French President Emmanuel Macron calls these killings an Islamist terrorist attack. Good man. And displayed thousands of extra soldiers to protect public sites, including places of worship. Well, unfortunately, they didn't get there quick enough. I'd love to know what the fuck they were doing at the time that this was shot up. The shooting in Lyon happened at 1600 local time on Saturday when a priest was closing his church, officials say. The attacker, whose reports says he was armed with a sawn-off shotgun. Either that guy's a terrible shot, or the screams of Allahu Akbar probably alerted the priest that he was probably in some deep shit. Fled the scene. The French Interior Minister said security and emergency personnel were on the scene and urged people to avoid the area. Now, I tried to look for the accurate representation or description of the attempted murderer. The one that I read earlier, it said that he was of a Mediterranean description. Are you fucking kidding me? I know I can't provide the actual text, but I did see it earlier and they fucking changed the article. I know it's all fucking constantly updating, but that's what I seen earlier. And it says that according to Nicolas Jacquet, he is the Lyon's public prosecutor, a person who could correspond to the description given by the initial witnesses had been placed in police custody. Well, I guess we don't need to know who did it anymore because they have them. Don't worry about it. Keep going about your life. There's nothing to be concerned about here. But yeah, over the past 2 weeks, you've had several knife attacks. Now you have a gun attack in France. So, I don't know, maybe those additional troops need to fucking do something? How about that one? And probably a less serious one, but one that's, kind of really sucks. Fucking Sean Connery died. Now, the dude got to live a very long and very full life. He passed away at 90 peacefully in his sleep, said that his family was saying that he was having health issues for a while, but you know what? The coof didn't catch him, and the dude lived to be 90. Now, it's kind of unfortunate that he stepped away from public life for, I seem to remember that his last public movie was League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, right? And that was early 2000s, and he just kind of drifted off from the public scene ever since because he is one of those pillars of absolute masculinity that people just don't appreciate and is needed now more than ever. Okay, he said some controversial things, but that's what I like to see out of people who, want to use their platform for everything else besides the standard talking points. You know the ones, we don't need to run through that. My blood pressure's gone high enough in the beginning of this video anyways. But Sean's done some great work. Obviously, all of the James Bond stuff. The Rock. The Untouchables. The third and last Indiana Jones movie. The Highlander movies. Hunt for Red October. The list goes on and on and on. So it sucks, man. You take a look at the sissy bitches that we have out in the public eye right now, and especially Boris Johnson. I don't know, he's fucking losing his mind over there. You take a look at what we have today and what we had before, well before I was born, and there's no comparison. Masculinity is under attack, and the only way to properly surmise this is with a quote that I've heard repeatedly throughout the entire, 2020. I can't even say during the lockdown because they just keep fucking fluctuating. Tough times produce strong men. Strong men produce good times. Good times produce weak men. Weak men produce tough times. Now, depending on your opinion, I think we are somewhere around the tough times part. And what comes after that? Well, strong men. I'd like to consider myself in that crowd by standing up for myself, putting my face out there, and constantly engaging with people. Anybody who likes to discuss things, I am well open to, as long as you'd like to have a nice, honest conversation. But I'm here for individualism, truth, and freedom. I can't speak to the entire ideology that Sean Connery had, but he was definitely one to speak his mind and to stand up for himself, and I can appreciate that. I figure you guys out there too can as well. Thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you guys to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.